What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here in today's mission. The official ESRB rating for the Final Fantasy VII Remake has been revealed, and it's a little cause for concern. There's a little bit of intel to go over, so stay tuned soldiers, it's time for our next mission. I'd like to begin this video by apologizing for how I may have come off in the last video. I'm extremely grateful for everything that Square Enix has shown us so far, and while I was disappointed there was no trailer at Jump Festa, I let the stress from yesterday filter into my video. So that being said, let's get down to business. So I was waiting to do this video because even though their promotions have been showing a T rating lately, I wanted to get the official rating from the ESRB website. That way I had all the information I needed for the video and could talk about some of the things that may or may not make it into the remake. Months ago, I made a video that detailed the rating system and how the remake could survive a T rating, but I would prefer it to be rated M. Ratings have changed a lot over the years, and certain things have been acceptable, while some things are not acceptable. Just what those things are is still kind of a mystery, as we don't know how much of a certain thing is allowed before it changes the rating. For example, Crisis Core featured HD blood and scenes of characters bleeding and got a T rating. So for me, it seemed like the remake would have been fine with a T rating. However, now that it's been officially released, the T rating is a little concerning to me. Now this doesn't rule out certain scenes, but it may mean they are dialed down. If it puts into perspective how much fans are worried about the rating, it's currently sitting at the most viewed game on the official ESRB website. We'll get into all the different things the rating discusses, but it appears that Don Corneo has been left alone. There's also something interesting that keeps my hope for Cid's character remaining mostly intact. So let's dive right into it. Final Fantasy VII Remake is T-rated for the following: language, suggestive themes, use of alcohol and tobacco, and violence. The thing that concerns me here is the lack of a rating for blood, which instantly makes me think about one specific scene. We all know about the Shinra HQ and the blood trails everywhere. That alone would have gotten at least a blood rating on the website, so I'm a little concerned for how this scene is going to play out and if the blood trails will still be there. It seems too iconic to remove, especially considering that as a kid it felt like watching a horror movie unfold as you walk through the halls of the Shinra building. Now I could be wrong and they could have included the blood into the violence, but I'm highly doubting it. Hopefully this scene remains intact as much as possible and still gives us that terrifying feeling. So now on to the rating summary. It states, this is an action role-playing game in which players follow the story of a mercenary, Cloud Strife, on a quest to save the planet from evil. Players explore the city of Midgar, perform various quests, and battle monsters and soldiers in frenetic melee combat. Characters use swords, staffs, guns, and magic spells to battle fantastical monsters and human soldiers. Combat is highlighted by cries of pain, impact sounds, and explosions. This is pretty standard and nothing to really write home about. It then goes on to state, cutscenes also depict instances of violence, characters impaled by swords off camera, and a man shot repeatedly while on a stairwell. Some female characters wear revealing outfits, example given deep cleavage. One scene depicts a man ogling women's bodies while making suggestive hand gestures and hip movements. So we've got the President Shinra scene still intact, what I would assume is a certain Avalanche member getting shot, and Aerith and Tifa in their Wall Market dress, and Don Corneo. The Don seems to be completely faithful to the original, so no concerns from me there. From the wording of the summary, we won't actually see Shinra get impaled, but we'll see the aftermath of it, so I have no doubt that the scene will stay relatively the same, as we didn't see it in the original either. However, I could see them having President Shinra beg for his life, then the camera cuts away, and then the party walks in and finds him like they did in the original. I'm also assuming this means that a lot of things Sephiroth does in the Shinra HQ will be done off-screen, which sticks to the spirit of the original. His mystique comes from his lack of appearances, but a few here and there don't really affect how I feel about it. To an extent, I like that he's more involved, especially in the psychological aspect of it. Now let's talk about the last part of the summary. It states, the game contains some alcohol content, ordering something hard and bitter, and watching a character drink. Searching for a person at the drunkard's den, watching characters drunk and slurring their speech. One cutscene depicts a character smoking a cigar. The words shit, asshole, and prick appear in the dialogue. For me, this is great news because they're not limiting how these characters will act under the influence of alcohol. We've already seen Tifa and Cloud sharing a drink at the 7th Heaven, so I assumed alcohol would be a part of the rating. Scenes like the Honeybee Inn and the bar where you find the dressmaker might contain the drunk characters, and it will be interesting to see the interactions that Cloud and Party have with them. It's also good news for fans of said Highwind who were concerned that the character would no longer swear or smoke. One cutscene depicts a character smoking a cigar, tells us that smoking is not a taboo thing for characters to do in a T-rated game. This is good news because literally one of Cid's limit breaks is lighting a stick of dynamite with a cigarette. Then it talks about language. This confirms that Barrett didn't say fuck in the demo like a lot of people thought. If he would've, the ESRB would've definitely flagged it on this review. It also confirms that the swearing is still very much part of the character's lingo. We knew this from the demo, but we didn't know to what extent until now. This also means that Barret and Cid will still have their characters remaining faithful. The 3 words they chose to rate are still pretty looked down on in standard television, so it doesn't concern me for that part of their characters. However, it does make me wonder how Cid will treat Shira this time around, as verbal domestic abuse is going to be a tough one to get around. They could downplay it in the original with the playful graphics, but fully voiced HD character models is really going to be a fine line to walk there. Overall, I do have my concerns, especially with the Shinra HQ. I didn't expect the combat itself to be bloody, as it just doesn't seem like Final Fantasy style outside of a few non-mainline titles. However, I did expect the game to get a blood rating based off of the Shinra HQ scene. It'll be interesting to see how that scene plays out and whether or not they keep the blood in. I think the game is going to be great regardless, but that's definitely one thing that will bother me, so I'm going to reserve judgment until I play the game myself. So what do you think, soldiers? Are you concerned about the T rating, or does it really matter to you? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to omni-slash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of Final Fantasy VII Remake's official rating. Subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy VII Remake news, rumors, and trailers, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.